there, Dairy Road families. I have a fun science experiment to share with you today. We're going to try and sink some eggs. Now, before we get started, I'm going to show you all the materials that I'm using at home, so if you want to follow along at your home, you can. Here's what you're going to need if you want to do this experiment at home. First, you're going to need something to hold some water. I'm going to use this big pitcher. If you have a pitcher, you can use that too. You could use your sink, you could use a container, you could even use your bathtub or your pool. Next, you're going to need some plastic eggs. If you don't have any plastic eggs at your house, that's fine. Just find some containers that have some lids that'll stay on tight enough. Next, you'll need to find some random objects around your house that'll fit inside the eggs. I found some stones, coins, buttons, foam hearts, spiky balls, and of course some Disney friends. Then I made this chart. It says, will it sink the eggs? I'm going to test each one of my objects and see, does it make the eggs sink or not? If it makes the eggs sink, I'm going to put a check mark. If it does not, I'm going to put an X. You can test this with whatever you can find around your house and see, are there some things that surprise you and make the eggs sink? Or are there some things that surprise you and maybe make it not sink? All right, now that I've got all my materials ready, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Before I test any of the objects, I'm going to see what an empty egg does when I put it in the water. It stayed on top, so it floats. Next, we'll go ahead and put some things inside. First, I'm going to test some buttons. So I'm going to put some buttons in both of my eggs. Make sure they're closed nice and tight. And now we'll see what happens when we put them in the water. Did they sink? No. They stayed on top of the water, so those eggs float. So when they had the buttons, it did not make the eggs sink. So I'm going to go to my paper and I'm going to put an X. All right. Next up, I'm going to test some little foam hearts that I found. Now, it's going to get a little wet, so I do have a towel, and I recommend you get a towel too. Let's see. Hearts. I'm just going to do one egg this time, actually, because I think it'll fit better. All right. Hearts are in the egg. Close back up. Let's see. Does it float or does it sink? What happened? The egg's on top still, so this one floats. So the hearts did not make this egg sink. So go ahead, dump those out, and I'll put an X next to my hearts because they did not make it sink. All right, next I'm going to test some coins. Got some coins in there. Lost one, but that's okay. Close it back up. We'll see. Is it going to make it sink or is it going to float? It's still floating. Now I'm going to admit that one surprised me. I thought this one might sink because the coins were a little bit heavier. That was my prediction that I was thinking in my head, was that the coins were going to make my egg sink. But it didn't. I'm going to add a little bit more coins and fill the whole egg up and see. Make it a little bit heavier. Maybe that'll get it to sink. Okay. All right. You can kind of see in here it's more filled up. Let's see how that makes the egg work. Oh, it's definitely lower, but did it sink all the way down? Not yet, but I'm gonna give it a second because I kind of noticed that it seems to be really slowly going down. Can you see it? What happened?
Is it still floating? Nope. That made the egg sink. So the first time when I put a little bit of coins in, it did not make it sink. But when I filled the whole egg up, that made it sink all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to leave that one in there for now, and we'll fill up the yellow one with something else. I'm going to go ahead and put a check mark next to coins because that made it fill up and made it sink. All right, next I'm going to test some stones. Now, I'm predicting that these stones are going to make the egg sink because they're kind of heavy like the coins. They feel heavy to me. Let's see. All right, let's see. Does this make it sink or does it still float? Give it a minute, kind of like the coins. Is it sinking? Nope. I still see it on top of the water, so that means it floats. Now, I'm going to do what I did with the coins. And I'm going to put a little bit more inside of this egg. Because I think maybe if it's a little bit heavier, that'll make it sink. Ooh, it's dripping on me. Let's see. Is it going to be slow like the other one? Let's be patient and watch. Sometimes when we do science experiments, we have to be patient because they're not always happening right away. Oh, are you watching? What's happening to that egg? What happened? Is that egg still floating on top of the water? No, it sunk just like the red one did. When I put more stones in that yellow egg, it made it heavy enough to sink. I'm going to go ahead and put a check next to stones because I got that egg to sink. Now, I have to pull them out. This is why we needed a towel. Because sometimes science can get a little messy, and that's okay. I'm just actually going to carefully dump those back. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to try is these little spiky balls I have. I don't really have a prediction for these because they feel kind of light. So I'm thinking that maybe they'll make the egg float. Let's test. 2 spiky balls are in this egg. Let's see. Does it sink or float? Oh, what do you guys think? Did it float or did it sink? Still on top of the water, so it floats. Now, I'm going to add a couple more, see if I can fit and see. Does that change it? Does it make it sink? All right, I smushed them in there. 4 balls went in this time. Did it sink? Nope. Still on top of the water, so it floats. So I know that the spiky balls did not make it sink. So I'm going to put a big X on my paper. Now, the last thing I have to test are my little Disney friends. Got Donald Duck and Minnie Mouse. Put Donald in the yellow egg. Put Minnie in the red egg. And we'll see. What do you guys think? I want you to make a prediction for this last one. What do you think is going to happen to these eggs? Are Donald and Minnie going to make them sink down to the bottom? Or are they going to stay on top of the water and float? What do you think? Let's test. I'll do Donald Duck first. Oh, what's Donald doing? Let's be patient a minute because I think I see something happening. No, he's staying right there. I thought maybe he would sink. Let's test Minnie Mouse. Let's see. What happened? What was your prediction? Were you right? Did you predict that they were going to float? If you predicted they were going to float, then you were correct. I predicted that they were going to sink. I thought they would be heavy. My prediction wasn't correct, but that's okay. That's the fun part about doing science experiments. Go ahead and take those out. Actually, that's what. We'll leave those in there. And I will go ahead and put an X next to Minnie and Donald Ducks. So here's my results. I tested all of these things to see what will make the egg sink. I put check marks next to the things that did make it sink, and I put X's next to the things that did not make it sink and kept the eggs afloat. How many things made my egg sink? Can you count? 1, 2. I had 2 objects that made my egg sink. How many objects did not make my egg sink and kept them afloat? Can you count? 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4 objects that did not make it sink and kept it afloat. Now, I want you to go around your house and see. Oh my goodness. That's kind of funny. I wasn't expecting that. See, sometimes we have to be patient for science. That egg sunk. I had to be patient. I wasn't even watching it. I want you to go around your house and see, what experiment could you use? Do you have coins at your house? Do you have different types of balls? See what things will make it sink and what things will make it float.